Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be why the narcissist needs people changing for them. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please subscribe. So the narcissist, what do? Well, they do many things, but one thing they do is they change you. They change everything about you, from the color of your hair to the clothes you wear, to whom you associate with, to the words you speak, to the words you don't speak, to how you spend your money, to what you do with your time, your social circle, everything. But one of the main things they do is they change your behavior. I'll jump right into that. So let's say that you are a kind, loving individual, maybe even an empath. God bless you, that's great. Point is, you're here on the planet one more day, as am I, and we are all fortunate, so let's take advantage of the day. Having said that, the narcissist, remember, they need to bully you into submission. And this will be done insidiously, slowly, over time. In other words, let's say that you met the narcissist. Let's say it's a friend relationship or a business relationship, as an example. Well, you meet these people and you are striking up that kind of a relationship, which usually takes minimal effort, because my hope is that the people you surround yourself with, you don't have to be cautious with them. But again, you're on the channel and you're getting the wisdom, so most likely you've gone through the narcissistic abusive cycle. But I'm referring to back then. You would meet a friend and then you would strike up a conversation, and perhaps you would share some hobbies and do some things. Well, what was going on there is, number one, this alleged friend turned out to be a narcissist for this example. But what that person did is, maybe in the beginning they picked you up, and let's say you guys went golfing and spent time, as an example, or you went to the movies, whatever you did, rollerblading, whatever. And they, in the beginning, they gave you a little mini love bomb stage, a little euphoric stage, because they were doing the heavy lifting and making it seem like they were almost too good to be true, right? Think about it. Well, slowly what happened was that their car allegedly broke down, or they didn't have gas money, or they couldn't make it. And then the rides to go do the events would shift. And now you're on the hook for doing all these. And before you know it, you're not only picking them up, but you're waiting in the parking lot for them because they're late, because they're making you late. And you're paying for the golf round, and they will not pay you back. These are examples. I'm illustrating what the friendship relationship is at times in a narcissistic setting. The point being is they change you, because before you met the narcissist, and using that example, what happened? You probably had your own golf buddies or your friends or whatever you were doing, and then this new person came along, and you're like, wow, this person's great. They really want to be my friend and everything. This sounds fantastic. Well, not so fast. They were just sizing you up, figuring out what made you tick, deciding what resources they could extract from you. Using that example, it was your money, your time, your ability to spend time with them, and you be a sounding board. All those examples and more. But the narcissist needs people to change for them. What about in a romantic setting? Let's say that you fell in love with an individual who turned out to be a narcissist. Okay, well, number one, you didn't know what narcissism was, because if you did, you would not have entered that relationship. Number two, the individual faked like they were in love with you, because remember, the narcissist can't love and they have no empathy. The only thing they do is they have you become attached to them and have you profess the three magic words, I love you, and then they know they have you, and then you will enter the devaluation stage. But the point being for this video is, when you entered the relationship with them, they weren't authentic, they weren't genuine. They did not reveal who they really were, and they were having you change your behavior to pump up their fragile ego. That's exactly what they were doing. So an example there would be, let's say before you met the narcissist in a romantic setting, you were very confident, you had a good job, social circle, network, maybe you were dating, who knows what you're doing, but you were living a good life, things were going well. And then along comes this person who turned out to be the narcissist, and they floored you with affection. They smothered you with adoration. They were texting you emojis telling you how that you two were a match made in heaven, and that you were their soulmate and the love of their life, etc. Well, none of these things were true. We now know that. But the truth is, the narcissist was having you change for them. In that situation, using that as an example, you found yourself saying things to them to keep them closer to you. Like you would say to them things like, I love you, or I'm your soulmate, or I can't live without you, or I want to be with you, or you're my snuggle buddy, whatever these words were. Insert whatever you want. But the point is, you were doing things that was not native and or natural to you. You were doing it because the narcissist, using this romantic example, set the stage for you, and they set the tone. In other words, watch this one. Let's say they sent you 3 heart emojis today. Boom, boom, boom. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's the middle of your workday, as example. This is in the euphoric stage. And they send you that, and you're like, oh my gosh, they're thinking about me. This is just amazing. It's so beautiful. So what do? That's right, you can't send 1 heart, that's not good enough. You can't send 2 hearts, not quite there. You could send 3 and equal them, but you want to really show your love for the person. What do? Maybe it's 4, maybe it's 14 hearts. And boom, what happens then? Then the narcissist, wherever they are, because remember, they're out getting sources of supply while they're grooming you to be the grade A sources of supply, the main source of supply. But what they're doing is they see the 14 hearts coming in, they're like, wow, really? All I had to do was send that 1 text after lunch or during lunch break with a couple hearts, and this person got back to me in a split second with 14 hearts. That's absolutely incredible. What can I make them do next? Then the next thing you know, it's work. Your work day's over. You go pick them up from work, whatever you do, and you're sitting down talking, and you're fawning all over them and telling them what a great day you had and how they made your day by them texting you and all these things. And what are they doing? They're listening to you and they're absorbing your words. They are really paying attention to the words you're saying, and they're trying to figure out how to weaponize these words against you, perhaps tomorrow, the next day, in a week, a month down the road. But what are they doing? They're usually at that point kind of being a little more quiet. They're absorbing your words and trying to figure out how to play those against you later. That's exactly what the narcissist does. So now keep in mind, before you met them using the romantic setting, you weren't sending 14 hearts. You were probably just being in an average, stable, healthy romantic relationship. Maybe you did send 14 hearts, but I can tell you this, it wasn't those 14 hearts to a stable individual. They were meant out of the kindness of your heart. And if they were replied to or not, that was with an individual. With the narcissist, no, you have to do everything for them. And if you didn't send the 14 hearts, then the narcissist would say, hey, what's going on here? Like, what are you doing? Don't you care about me? Don't you love me? I contacted you. And this is how they groom you. This is how they train you. This is how they have you changing for them. Another thing, your hair. Very basic, simple example. Let's say you had short hair when you met the narcissist. Well, the narcissist said, hey, I think short hair is great, but I think long hair would look better on you. And you are saying to yourself, I haven't had long hair in a long time, maybe ever. You know what, that would be a good change. I think I'll do that. And what does the narcissist say then? They say, beautiful, now I have this person, their hair going in the direction I want it to be, which is long. The next thing you know, you have long hair, which you've never had before. And that is one shift that the narcissist had you change for them. Another way is think about your time, how you spent your time when you were with the narcissist. When you were with the narcissist, you were walking around on eggshells. You were an extension of the narcissist. You didn't have your own identity. You didn't, and your resources were being depleted each and every day. You just didn't know it. You felt it, but you didn't realize how deep in the narcissistic fog you were. But having said that, let's say before you met the narcissist, what would happen? Well, you would have your day. You'd go to work, have your day, maybe come home, walk your dog, do a little exercise, maybe watch some YouTube videos, wink, wink. But now you don't have time to do those things, do you? No, because now you're in the narcissistic relationship. Now you're probably getting, or you were probably getting up at the crack of dawn, and you had the endless daily to-do list, which means today you have 10 things to do. When you accomplish those, tomorrow you'll have 12. The next day you'll have 14, on and on and on. And just when you thought that you accomplished it, let's say it's a Saturday, you got all the chores and or responsibilities done that the narcissist lined up for you. And let's say you're laying on the couch relaxing. This is back then, by the way, not now. And you're relaxing. Well, what would happen? You'd get a text or a phone call. Hey, what are you doing? You're like, oh, I'm just relaxing. I just did all of these things, A through M, all the list. And they're like, really? But there's so much more to do. You should have called me. You should have contacted me, because we have to do this now too. We have to do this, this, and this. And what do you find yourself doing? You find yourself running around again, doing more errands and chores and responsibilities, consuming your energy, your time, everything about you, because you can't sit still. You can't just be. Remember that. The narcissist does not want you to just be. And they certainly don't want to just be themselves. That's why they're always running around. That's why the narcissist can't sit still. That's why the narcissist has the endless to-do lists. That's why the narcissist has multiple sources of supply. That's why the narcissist tells little fibs and little secrets and to little groupies, they tell A, B, and C. To other people, they tell X, Y, and Z. And in between, there's all untruths. That's exactly how the narcissist lives. But the narcissist needs you changing for them. They won't change for you. Let's think about this for a minute. The first time you ever attempted to put a boundary up with the narcissist, what happened? Whoa, back off there. You probably experienced a rage fit, or the narcissist played the victim, or they blame shifted you, or they told you, no, that's not going to happen, or they agreed with you, and then again, they did not follow through with what they agreed to, But they can't have you making rules or boundaries. They can't be the follower. They need to be the leader. And where they're leading you to, and or where they were leading you to, was Destructionsville. It was to isolation. It was to losing your identity, having your resources become depleted, your social circle blown up, perhaps even your health taking a massive hit, which many of us, that did happen to us. The whole point being, the narcissist wants people to change for them. They don't want to change for people. And keep this in mind, the narcissist believes that the rules of the planet don't apply to them. That's why they are belligerent. That's why they are petulant children. That's why they throw temper tantrums. That's why they behave erratically. And that's why their emotions many times cannot be under control. Think about it. So the next time you're in a restaurant, say you go to a restaurant, it's a rather big restaurant, you know, nice place and everything, you're sitting down, you're eating, and then you look around and maybe there's a person that's really loud. Maybe they're laughing too loud and you're like, wow, that person's laughing really loud. This is an example. Doesn't mean just, so that they are, and then you're like, whoa, and then you see how they're treating the waitstaff, which is not appropriately. And then perhaps they order a bottle of water and it was already open, so they demand and send it back. Well, that's poor behavior. That's a person bullying another individual, which is the waiter or waitress in the restaurant, just because the person who turns out to be a narcissist perhaps can do it. Keep in mind, they don't care about your experience at that dinner or the restaurant. They don't care about the owner or the waiter or the waitress. They care about blowing up people's evenings. It's the same thing on an airplane. You're on an airplane, you're 30,000 feet up, you're halfway to your destination, and then you hear some commotion in the airplane. Well, what's going on? Well, assuming it's not an emergency, and for this video it's not an emergency, you have a person who's perhaps being a little bit too, they're not getting the attention they deserve. So what do they need to do? They need to be loud and boisterous and take it out on the stewardess. And what they do is they will hammer that person and complain to them and make a scene, and next thing you know, perhaps that plane is landing at not the destination you're headed to, but somewhere earlier, to get that person off the airplane. Because why? Because they couldn't handle it. They couldn't just be for that 6-hour flight. They needed to cause commotion and disruption, and it ended up biting them. You get my point. I am not diagnosing people. I'm letting you know that narcissism is prevalent and it's all over the globe. It's all around you. It's all around me. It's everywhere. The purpose of the channel is to help you understand and become awakened and aware, educated and empowered, and to have boundaries, to go no contact with the narcissist if you can, block the narcissist, remove all people and or flying monkeys associated with them, and to begin living your best life. Now, it's not that easy, I get it, but in time, in your time, my hope is you get the message. And if you're on the healing path, continue moving forward. Understand the healing path, it's not linear. You will have twists and turns, ups and not so good days, but keep moving forward, keep pressing ahead. You will get to the destination, the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference, when you just don't care about the narcissist and or toxic people in the past, because you drown them out. But that's for a whole different video. The narcissist wanted you changing for them, and they did their best using the examples I just shared with you. They wanted to change you virtually into becoming a shell of yourself. And for those of us who have come through the fire and risen through the ashes like a phoenix, we know what that's like. We were changed. We were almost not on the planet, if you can read between the lines, but we're here. And we are getting the word out, and we are becoming so much stronger each and every day as a community. And the word is getting out, and people are understanding that toxic behavior, there's no place on the planet for this. Yes, it's still prevalent, and yes, these are challenging times. I understand all of that. I'm saying that if you have the ability to remove yourself from the toxicity, drown out the negativity, focus on yourself, live your best life, I believe you'll have an easier journey going forward, because you've already experienced the toxicity of the narcissistic abusive cycle. Why would you want to enter another relationship? Why would you want to tolerate more poor behavior? You wouldn't. You have the wisdom. You now have a superpower that money can't buy. School can't teach it. You either go through it and you get it, or you go through it and you don't. It's that simple. And when I say that, I mean, just because you went through the narcissistic abusive cycle, it does not mean you speak the superpower. You have to heal. You have to process childhood wounds. You have to learn the glossary, the definitions, the terms on the narcissistic abusive cycle. You have to put up boundaries. You have to perhaps experience the dark night of the soul. You have to introspect, journal, meditate, watch videos, see a therapist who unfortunately perhaps has gone through the narcissistic abusive cycle, someone who understands and speaks the same language as I do. That's what you need to do. But in time, in your time, my hope is you will heal. Remember, healing, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Take your time, focus on yourself. So understand that when you were in the relationship, the narcissist wanted you changing for them. You did, they did, and you did. And now you don't. Now you change for nobody but yourself. Now you save your empathy for people who deserve it. You don't just give it away to anybody who asks you for it. Same thing with your time. I believe time is the most valuable commodity on the planet. Whether you believe time exists or not, that's up to you. I'm just saying that time is precious. It's the most valuable commodity we have. So use it wisely. Use your time wisely. Guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it. From the beautiful Carolinas, this is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon. Stay true, stay blessed. Continue to become awakened and aware, and understand you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. Remember that. God bless you. You are not alone. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. Bye, guys.